All right, Knicks Nation. We have an NBA schedule. The NBA schedule has been released today. The Knicks schedule is out. We're excited. Season starts on October 25th. We're back with another live edition. Chris, what's going on, man? NBA schedule is finally out. We finally have some games to look forward to that we'll go over. Some weird matchups, some weird back-to-back, some weird travel dates. But yeah, I mean, that's the NBA, Chris, right? What's going on,
Yeah,
though?
doing good, man. Doing good. Yeah, NBA released the schedules, and yeah, kind of an interesting. We'll dive in and we'll kind of break it down a bit. But yeah, man, how have you been, man?
Been good. We were on here last week chopping it up about the New York Knicks. Nothing really going on except Jalen Brunson keeps dominating in FIBA. He's been their best player. I mean, he's been awesome. And I'm glad that he's starting and he's forming chemistry with all of the guys. That's pretty cool. And RJ Barrett is playing really well for the Canada. And he dropped, 30-something points during his last game. And today he dropped 18 points, and he's been efficient. And him alongside Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I kind of like that. So they've been playing well, and that's been cool to see. That's been cool to see, man.
Yeah, I gotta agree. I mean, as a Knicks fan right now, watching Jalen Brunson and RJ Barrett, like you said, only positives there. The world is starting to see why Jalen Brunson is the guy the Knicks should be building around. And as far as RJ Barrett, showing us hopefully what we can look forward to this season, some efficiency and strong play.
And he changed his shot, it seems like. So he's been working with his trainer, and he changed his shot, and he's been efficient from downtown. So if he can convey that to the regular season, that would be awesome. Of course, we all know RJ Barrett was awesome during the playoffs, especially versus the Cavs. He was awesome. So it's good to see RJ Barrett get some reps in. It's good to see Jalen Brunson get some reps in. I believe Jalen Brunson plays tomorrow at 12 p.m. So that'll be interesting to see. But we're here to talk about the Knicks schedule. Who else would we open up against? We open up against the Boston Celtic. I believe 2 out of the last 3 seasons we've opened up against the Boston Celtics, Chris. And I just feel like the NBA is trying to make that a rivalry. And
Yep.
whether a rivalry can come from that, I don't know. But now that they have Porzingis, maybe they want a story written. But Knicks, Boston, opening night. I mean, what are you looking forward to from that game? And right away, we get an Eastern Conference contender in our building that should be a dogfight.
Yeah, I mean, right off the bat, I mean, we got the Boston Celtics, one of the, I mean, many will say the team to beat, right,
Yeah.
in the East. So, like you said, I think the NBA is trying to make this a thing, especially with Porzingis there. Whether he's healthy or not, and playing in that game is another story. But we have a secret weapon waiting for them. You know who that is? He's still on the Knicks. I mean,
The
we
secret
can
weapon.
unleash Evan Fournier, just for that one game, and usually he goes off. So
Evan Fournier, what was it, 2 years ago, he dropped in that crazy double overtime. Was it double or triple overtime? I forgot what it was. But
yeah, I think it was double.
him against the Celtics is like gold. So imagine if he comes off the bench and I don't see that happening, but that would be crazy
Hey man, that's one way to get the trade value up real quick.
for
If you can
sure.
repeat a performance like that.
You think they're gonna trade him? I mean, we got training camp coming up in a month. He's been playing for France. I mean, I think they're gonna just bring him into the media day training camp and be like, "You're Nick. We'll keep you here." Blah blah blah. Don't really want to get into Fournier tonight, but you know, and my light just fell.
No,
Oops.
yeah. I think I think that I think they'll bring him in, they'll talk to him, kind of see what his headspace is at, see if they can clear the air, quote unquote. Evan Fournier, before the comments he made, he was nothing but a professional.
Yeah.
Let's see if they can salvage something from it. But if not, I think they'll just tell him, hey, stay away. We'll pay you to stay away till we find you somewhere, or something comes along to our liking where we can trade you. That's what I think.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, so opening night versus Boston, and then let me just pull up the schedule on the screen so you guys can take a look at it. All right, so here we go. So we have opening night versus Boston. That is October 25th. Then we go on a little 3-game road trip at Atlanta, at New Orleans, at Cleveland. Back to back versus Cleveland, man. At Cleveland, 10:31 Halloween, 11-1 versus Cleveland again, and then at Milwaukee. How do you like that? How do you like those first 6 games right off the bat there?
Oh man, that's a tough start, man. That's a tough start.
Yeah, it is tough start, and you then have not you come home to the Clippers. Then Victor Wembanyama makes his Garden debut on
Hey.
November 8th. San Antonio, Charlotte, at Boston. All right, so predict the Knicks record for the first 10 games of the season. So I guess we can go win-loss here. And I mean, you want to go first, or you kind of want to rotate a little bit, or what do you want to do?
Let's do a little rotation.
All right, so opening night versus Boston. Where are you going? I'll let you go first. Win, loss against the Celtics. Just added Porzingis. Got rid of Marcus Smart. Porzingis has been shut down though because he has plantar. What does he have? Plantar fasciitis.
Yeah,
my
plantar
God.
fasciitis.
Yeah.
Oh man, that sucks. But I'm gonna go with a dub against Boston. I think we just match up well. We got the chemistry. Boston has a lot of new pieces. I think it takes them some time to kind of gel.
Yeah.
I think that's a game we can win.
All right, so that's 1-0 at Atlanta. I'll go 2-0 at New Orleans. Zion will probably be back. I guess I'll give the New York Knicks their first loss there. So
No way.
no,
No, I say 3-0 right there.
3-0.
I
Wow.
say 3-0.
Okay. Then at Cleveland versus Cleveland at home. You splitting that?
I think we split that.
Okay, so that's
They're
what.
gonna be juiced. They're gonna be juiced to play us.
Yeah, especially kicking their ass during the first round of it. So that's 4-1 at Milwaukee. Friday night game, ESPN. What we got? 4-2.
Yeah, I say 4-2 only because again, I think Milwaukee is the prototype team to give us fits with their length, their height, and we're the opposite. So I think that's where the Knicks will get another loss.
Yeah. Then we come home for 3 straight versus the Clippers. So we're at 4-2 right now. That's gonna be tough, man. Especially early on in the season. Those guys are probably going to be healthy. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. So do we suffer our first home loss? That's a 4-3 start through the first 7. It's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah,
4-3. Then
yeah. I say so.
then San Antonio at home, and then Charlotte. That's, to me, you got to take care of business at home. And
Yeah.
all last season, what we were saying, Chris, and what didn't they do early on in the season?
Protect home court.
Protect
Yep.
home court, man.
I think those two are definitely wins.
All right, so what are we at now? 6-3,
6-3.
6-3, or 6-4. All right, so we got Boston 1, 2, 3. That's 4, 4-2, 4-3, 5, 6-3. All right, so one more at Boston to close out the 10 game first 10 games at Boston. 6-3. Where are we going?
I'll say that's a win again.
7-3. I'll take that, man. First 10 games, 7-3, 6-4. If they can survive that, and then obviously we go on a little road trip at Atlanta, at Washington, at Charlotte, at Minnesota. I wanted to touch on some things that I realized in this schedule. So going through the schedule, the New York Knicks have 13 back-to-backs. They have 8 back-to-backs in the first 36 games. Ouch. The NBA did the Knicks no favors in regarding that. And 12 back-to-backs this season, Chris, include travel. So that means when the New York Knicks play, the next day they're going to have to travel to their destination and play on the road. NBA, what are you doing? Shout out to you, though, man. That's ridiculous.
Doing us no favors. But The Knicks have proven, at least last season, we were the road warriors, and hopefully that's something again that is a trend this upcoming season. Hopefully we're a good road team, and we can come out on top in a lot of these matchups. But that is definitely something that's going to be difficult to deal with, man.
Yeah, I mean, 12 back-to-backs that include travels, 13 back-to-backs, 8 back-to-backs in the first 36 games. The average number of back-to-backs with travel is 9, and the New York Knicks have 12. So, take it with a
Of
grain of
course,
salt though, like Chris said, Road Warriors, right? Road
road
Warriors.
warriors.
Opening night versus Boston. Then we have look at this stretch in December, Chris. So in December we have 3 home games in the month of December. That is ridiculous. So we have home games, Toronto, December 11th, December 23rd, and December 25th, which we were discussing before the pod. The Knicks play the Bucks on Christmas Day, December 25th, and then 2 days prior to that, who do you guys think they play? The Bucks. So I mean, who made this schedule? Like, who made this schedule? Like, seriously.
That's tough.
Yeah, so 3 home games in the month of December, but they make up for it. They have 12 out of 14 games in January. February, they have at home. So here's the second half of the schedule. So look at all these home games in January and February, Chris. So that's the 2 months where I would like to see this team get extremely, extremely fat on victories.
Yeah. That'll be the time to do it. Like you said, we got to protect home court. And yeah, I mean, I see a lot of wins there for the taking.
Yeah, not really daunting West Coast trip. I believe we have the West Coast trip early on in the season. Yeah, here we go. We have one of them early on in the season at Utah, at Phoenix, at the Clippers, at the Lakers, and then we come back to at Brooklyn. I'm trying to see where the other one is. And we have at Dallas, at Memphis, right there. Uh, it's probably in the second half. Yeah, here we go. At Portland, at Sacramento. So in March we go on the West again, and when do we go to the LA Lakers? I'm trying to figure that out. You see that anywhere?
So right before February. Actually, no.
Oh wait,
Oh, there we go.
that's the wrong one. Oh, there we go. Yeah, at Lakers. So not
Yep.
really a daunting West Coast trip until I guess you could say this is daunting. At Phoenix, at Clippers, at the Lakers, but not nothing too crazy, Merritt.
Yeah. I mean,
Nothing.
that'll definitely be a heck of a stretch right there. But, you know, I like the spacing of it all. I think it's pretty spaced out for the most part. Just lots of road games and some questionable back to backs.
Yeah, for sure. And then we have this in-season tournament that starts December 4th, December 5th, the 7th, and the 9th. The Knicks schedule during the in-season tournament: November 3rd at Milwaukee, November 17th at the Wizards, November 24th versus Miami, and November 28th versus Charlotte. So, as we all just witnessed, the Liberty just won the cup, the NBA, the WNBA Cup in their little tournament, which is pretty cool. So maybe the Knicks can replicate that, Chris. I mean, what are your thoughts
Yeah.
about this NBA tournament? And then I'll touch on it. And I've seen a lot of people, either love it or hate it. A lot of people just don't understand it. Maybe they just they think that some teams are going to take nights off and not take this seriously. Maybe they think that the stakes aren't that high. Overheard Bobby Marks on ESPN saying that maybe a team that wins the cup should have an automatic bid to the postseason. I mean, right now it's
Wow.
just money. So the NBA in-season tournament is just money right now. So what are your thoughts about the in-season tournament?
Yeah, I was hearing a lot of the same, and I mean, I'm curious as a fan, as a basketball fan, watching the game more, like just introducing something new,
Yeah.
got me intrigued in it. But you know, for the same reasons, I'm not sure. contenders, NBA title contenders, how serious are they going to take it? Are they going to go all out trying to win? I mean, it's hard to say, right? I mean, I think teams will try, but will it be someone like a Charlotte that's really going to go above and beyond to try to win this thing?
Yeah.
Or are teams like, the Nuggets, the Lakers, the Knicks, the Heat, are they really going to be focused on that? I think it'll be a nice prize, I guess, to get. But
What is that? $1
I
million?
think, yeah, I mean, for
Every player
most
gets a
of these
million.
guys, is that a lot for most of these guys? I
Well,
mean,
to Jericho Sims, $1 million is $1 million, and the Knicks didn't
for
waive
sure.
him, so he's
Yeah,
back with the Knicks. So, but to Julius Randle, like, why are you gonna
right.
go above and beyond for $1 million?
Exactly.
You know?
I mean, it is a game on the schedule nonetheless. I'm sure any team is going to want to win no matter what. But you know, if let's say a team has a player with a nagging injury, are they going to play them just because they have a chance to win that cup?
Yeah.
I don't think so. But we'll see. I mean, it is intriguing, and I'm definitely curious to see how it plays out.
If the Knicks win the NBA Cup, do you think that there'll be parades in New York City? Do you think that
Oh,
fans
you
will go
know it.
crazy about that? Do you
Oh,
do you feel like
yeah.
it has the same oomph as an NBA championship would?
It might not have the same, you know, craziness that a championship would bring, but I'm pretty sure New York City would still go crazy. I mean, you saw how it was during the playoffs, man.
I know, yeah, 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 for sure. I just don't know, like are veteran teams gonna take this serious? Like, are the Lakers gonna take it seriously? Now, these games do count towards your regular season record, so
Right.
it's not like these games just don't count at all. It's just that like, if you're involved in the Final Four, you have to go to Las Vegas and you have to play over there. But the NBA broke it up in the schedule. So if you were involved in the Final Four, obviously you would have those days off. But still, I don't know, man. I just feel like it's something different. I kind of like it. I saw a
Yeah.
lot of backlash on socials, on Twitter, on ESPN and whatnot. But I kind of like it. You have to switch it up. We saw baseball expand to 12 teams. They got an extra wild card, and NBA has 8 teams in each conference. Now they're doing this NBA in season tournament. I kind of like it, man. I kind of like,
Yeah.
it's sort of like a soccer field. It's kind of like what soccer does in a way, and I feel like it's going to take some times for fans to get used to the tournament. But I feel like once we get to the Final Four, people are going to be like, "Wow, this is actually pretty dope. This is awesome."
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm curious too. I really want to see how it plays out. And like you said, these games count when it comes to records. So, my only I guess hesitation with it all of it is really, a lot of teams they start slow. They don't really turn it on till like, basically the new year, right?
Yeah.
So that's where, considering this is pretty early on, I don't know what type of play we're gonna get, but again, we'll see.
Yeah, look, if the Knicks win that NBA Cup, that'll be awesome. But yeah. So we touched on the main points of the schedule. Opening up against the Boston Celtics. 2 out of the last 3 years we have opened up against them. It's going to be a great night, man. Rivalry. The NBA is trying to form that rivalry. Knicks Celtics are trying to bring it back. Chris brought up, maybe we can get some Evan Fournier magic coming in off the bench. We all know how Evan Fournier performs versus Celtics. Doubt it. He probably won't even be on the damn team in the
Yeah,
next few weeks. But
I won't even be on the bench.
yeah, I know. But let's go to the national TV games by year. So in 2017, 2018, the Knicks had 13 national TV televised games. 18-19, they had 5. 19-20, they only had 3 national
Ooh.
televised games. 21-22, they had 22. Last season, Chris, they had 13. This season, the New York Knicks. Have you seen this number yet?
I have not.
What number do you think the New York Knicks have in terms of national televised games? Let's hit. Hold on. Let me bring up Tony in the chat, man. Knicks will finish 54-28. You heard it here first.
I like that.
Tony, what's going on, man? But yeah, how many games do you think
I
are national
say
televised?
20.
Right on the head. 20
Ooh, let's
national
go.
televised games. I would have thought it was a little bit more, but that's a lot, man. Last season we
Yeah.
only had 13 last season. So we essentially
Wow.
almost doubled our national televised games. Obviously, Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, and we have Dante DiVincenzo. If you guys want to hear our thoughts about how the Knicks will mesh about having all those guards, you can listen to our last live stream. We really got into detail with that. But 20 national televised games, man. We're moving on up, man. We're moving
Yeah.
on up.
They're starting to recognize Jalen Brunson, man.
Do you
The
like
guy's
that, or
Showtime.
do you like that, or do you want more of the games to be on MSG?
I
Like, do you?
mean, I personally love the MSG team, so
Yeah.
that's kind of my go-to if I had it. I wish I could have both, but you know, it's always good to get the spotlight, and the more people see this team, they could see we're the real deal. We're not the old Knicks.
So the NBA, not the NBA, but betting websites has the New York Knicks win-loss total at 44 and a half wins. Over under 44 and a half, Chris. Over under.
Over, over, all the way.
So they think we're going to win 44 games. We're going to take a step back from last season. That's what they think.
Yeah,
2 games over 500. That's what they say. And we improved our
it's crazy.
shooting. We got smaller, yes, but we improved our shooting. One more extra year with Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle and the guys meshing. I get it. The rest of the Eastern Conference. I mean, opening night doesn't have an Eastern Conference team. It's just both Western Conference teams. So it feels like the West is starting to build up their power again. Now that we have
Yeah,
KD and Phoenix and Denver and now the Lakers and all that, but that's all right. I like being on the back burner, man.
yeah, I do too. I mean, I think that's way too low in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, you got to factor in the fact that the Knicks improved and not too much changed altogether. So that chemistry that's there, it's only going to get better in my opinion. So 44 and a half, I'm definitely going with the over on that. I like I said, I think 50 wins or even more.
50.
Yeah, man.
What about what Tony said? 54 and 28. You taking that one?
Hey, man. Shout out to Tony. I'll take that too.
54 and 28. So 44 and a half, I would go over too. I don't really bet, but 44 and a half, I would go over. I don't want to sound like a Knicks biased fan, but I just feel like that number is just too low, man. I just feel
Yeah.
like they're missing like something in regarding the New York Knicks. Like I just feel like it's easy, right? I just feel like it's easy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm wondering like when they come up with these, you know, like do they factor in chemistry? Do they factor in new pieces, the time they need to gel? I mean, I know maybe at times that could be kind of like an overrated type of deal, but we've seen it even back in the day when LeBron, Bosh, Wade, it took them a while to mesh.
Yeah.
So, I use that as an example for Boston. They lost some key players, Marcus Smart, brought in Porzingis, Grant Williams gone. Those are big pieces that played prominent roles for them. I mean, now you're banking on other guys stepping up and filling those roles. There's going to be some, bumps in the road there. So, in my opinion, with the Knicks largely intact, outside of losing Obi Toppin, um, I mean, I don't see how we can do worse than last year. I mean,
And we
granted, anything can happen, but that's how I feel.
And we still could possibly have an Evan Fournier trade go down and possibly bring
Yeah.
someone back. But speaking of Obi Toppin, his first game back in Madison Square Garden is in February. So we're going to have to wait quite a bit for Obi Toppin to. Does he get a standing ovation? Does Obi Toppin get a standing ovation when he returns back to the Garden? I think he does. I think fans
I
chant
think he
Obi.
does. He
And
was a fan favorite, man. He still is.
yeah,
I got nothing but love for Obi, and I wish him well. I think he's gonna do well, except for that game against us.
you think Randall's going to take it upon himself and just go off against Obi?
You know
that'll be.
what? He's going to have to, or else the all the media is gonna say is how, oh, Obi is better than Randall. The Knicks make a mistake.
Could you imagine if Obi,
Oh man.
drops like 20, 25 in the Garden and they win that game? That'll be crazy. But Derrick Rose also has a return. And where is it? I saw it before. Memphis. There it is. A few days after
Six.
Obi Toppin.
Oh man.
February 6th. Derrick Rose returns to the Garden. Does he get a standing ovation? I doubt it.
Oh yeah, without
Really?
a doubt. Yeah, without
Really?
a doubt. He was nothing but a pro. I mean, I know at first things were rough when Rose first came to the Knicks, but after that, he did everything they asked him to do, including sit on the bench when it seemed like he really wanted to be out there and still contribute. So,
Yeah.
nothing but love for D Rose, and I think he'll definitely get a standing ovation.
Yeah. Yeah. I think fans will cheer for him, definitely. Shout out to Derrick Rose. But I keep looking at this stretch, Chris. Look at this stretch from January 18th to February 10th. Look how many home games we have during that stretch. We only have 2 road games from that January 18th. Basically, in a month, we only have 2 road games. So we're home. Then we have this 6 game homestand. Eight out of those, was it 8, 10? That's a lot of home games, man. That's the time to get
Yeah.
fat, man. That's the time to get
Yep.
fat. And heading into March, schedule's not that really tough in March. We have Atlanta, Orlando, Philly back to back. Man, these back to back games against the same opponent, I don't like it. Like we had it last year, and I didn't really feel a way about it. But what are your thoughts about that? Like we have one against Cleveland early on in the season, and here we have Philadelphia. Then the 24th, then the 23rd of December, then Christmas Day we have it against the Milwaukee Bucks back to back. I know the NBA is trying to limit travel. I guess that's what they're trying to do, but I don't know, man. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of it. I mean, sometimes it's fun. Like for instance, the first Cleveland back to back. I know that's gonna be fun because of just the way the playoffs went.
Yeah,
It's just gonna be crazy.
yeah.
But having Philly back to back, things like that. I mean, it is what it is.
What if we
Nothing we can
have
do about it. But I'm definitely not a fan of it, man.
Philly back to back in Madison Square Garden, March 10th, March 12th? What if Joel Embiid is on the New York Knicks, March 10th, March 12th, back to back against his former team? You heard it here first. Get Joel Embiid to NYC. It's about to blow up in Philadelphia. James Harden is
Oh
in
man,
China talking all that shit about Daryl Morey, saying he'll never play for him again. Joel Embiid is just sitting back, waiting,
that's
waiting for a
it's
trade.
it's insane what is going on with James Harden. And I mean, what is it? It's like, Kyrie, Harden, KD. It's
Yeah,
like all these guys that we in the past wanted so badly to be on the Knicks. It's like, man, how many bullets did we dodge?
I know. But Harden, I guess Harden was promised by Daryl Morey a max contract. He never got such a max contract. That situation is I honestly don't know, but it's something to watch.
Yeah,
Obviously, because
for
Joel
sure.
Embiid has been linked to the Knicks. There's other teams that's going to be, that's going to be after the trade deadline. So my proclamation may come true, man. Embiid as
Yeah,
a
I mean,
Knick.
just
Let's go.
recently, they recently said Embiid changed some of his social media stuff, took out some Philly location.
Yep, yep.
So, whether that's Joel Embiid playing mind games out there or trying to get the Sixers to make some moves or make things right, who knows? But you know, something's going on out there.
Something's brewing. We close out the schedule with 3 out of the last 6 games are against the Chicago Bulls. April 5th at Chicago, April 9th at Chicago, and then the last game of the season is April 14th versus the Chicago Bulls. And I feel like that's a good thing, Chris, because I don't really like Chicago. And I feel like they're in sort of this, do we tank? Do we go for it? Do we trade DeRozan? Do we trade Levine? They weren't really good last season. It sucks that they lost Lonzo Ball. But 3 out of the last 6 games against the Bulls, especially if we're like fighting for a fourth spot, or maybe a third spot, a fifth spot, and maybe you chalked out those up to wins against the Bulls, sign me up, man.
Yeah, I mean, you could look at it that way, but I think the Bulls also still have enough where they can be dangerous if things do click for them. So be careful what you ask for there, man.
Really? You think Chicago's really gonna? Man,
Hey,
I
man,
don't like
if
Chicago.
if outside of Lonzo Ball, if they still stay healthy, I mean, DeMar DeRozan, he's fantastic, man. I wish the Knicks would have picked up DeMar DeRozan back then, but and then Zach Levine, I'm sure anytime he plays the Knicks, he's gonna want to show off, especially when it comes to all the rumors and whether he wanted to be traded to the Knicks or not, whether he likes New York or not.
Yep.
you
Yep.
know, I just think, especially at the end of the season when you're trying to play for something, those are those teams that can just kind of surprise you. But yeah, man, I hope so. I hope those are 3 easy wins.
Likewise, man. And then close out the season. Not really a tough schedule. Sacramento. Then we, like I just stated, at Chicago, at Milwaukee, at Chicago again, at Boston, Brooklyn, Chicago. Not daunting at all. So if the Knicks are like needing those games later on in the season, it's not really that daunting of a schedule, especially if Milwaukee, let's say Milwaukee locks up the 1 or 2 seed and don't really have anything to play for there. That should work out in the Knicks' advantage. It should. So there is the schedule. Nothing too crazy. As we stated before, we have the 13 back-to-backs, 8 back-to-backs in the first 36 games. That sucks. 12 back-to-backs that include travel. That sucks. The average number of back-to-backs with travel is 9. That was from Ian Begley, and the New York Knicks have 12. So NBA didn't do us no favors, but hey, it's the schedule. We're just excited that it came out. And opening night versus Boston, October 25th. It's going to be Rockland. MSG is going to be rocking. I can't wait. We have some preseason coming up. We still have FIBA basketball, Brunson, Barrett. Let's go, Chris. Let's go.
Yeah, man, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for preseason, man. I'm ready to get things going. But for now, I'm gonna enjoy watching Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett, just
Yep.
crossing my fingers that they stay healthy throughout the entire, and Josh Hart. You can't
Yeah.
forget about him.
Yeah.
They all gotta stay healthy, man. I mean, that's the number one thing.
Yeah, I forgot about the reason why I forgot about Hart is because he barely played the last game, but he's also on USA. I've been watching, and he just really hasn't gotten the groove yet. He missed the first game, but hopefully he will get some playing time for Josh Hart tomorrow and on Saturday. That is it. That's the schedule. The Knicks schedule is out. All the NBA teams, the schedule is out. Yeah, man, I'm excited, and I just can't wait for basketball to be back, man. It's August 17th. Football's
Sir.
coming up in like a few weeks. Then we have, players reporting to training camp in the NBA. Then we have media day. Then it's happening quick, man. I'm already getting pumpkin spice emails in my emails about Dunkin' Donuts with pumpkin spice this, pumpkin spice that. They're ready for the fall. I don't
Yeah,
know if
man.
I'm ready yet, but
You gonna get some pumpkin spice lattes out there?
hey, I'm about that pumpkin spice life, man, and the donuts, and I like the apple cider donuts too. Those are pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Don't sleep
Yeah,
on
there
those,
you
man.
go. Yep.
I like fall time, man. I like the fall time. It brings like I don't know. It's just maybe it's been too hot over here. Maybe I'm just ready for some cool weather.
Oh man. Well, you can always come back to New York and you'll get plenty
Experience
of
that.
that.
Yeah, for sure. That's it. That's a wrap. Going to be a quick little podcast. We reviewed the schedule. If you're just listening, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button. As always, Apple, Spotify, please subscribe to the podcast. We really appreciate every single one of you. We'll be on here. If something big goes down, maybe a Manny Quickly extension, maybe an Evan
Hey.
Fournier trade. Who knows, man? Who knows? I guess you're going to have to come back to find out, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm Anthony. That is Chris. Let's go. Season is coming. soon. This is episode 18, Knicks Nation podcast. We out of here. Peace.
Peace.